discovered that the global mindset is someone who is comfortable in an uncomfortable environment. That's successful in Shanghai, in London, and in Denver, which is our global meeting. And we asked there what were the biggest driver of change in workforce over the next 5 years. By a resounding margin, you can see in all regions of the world, the talent shortage was mentioned as a big driver, closely followed by the geographic shift of economic power to Asia. You can see consistently throughout the world, our members, our HR professionals are indicating those are the biggest drivers of change. And then the third area being controlling costs. We ask our members in those regions what were their most challenging issues for human resource professionals. In Asia Pacific, the most frequently cited number one reason was cost containment, the cost of moving and keeping assignees in locations throughout Asia. Trying to figure out, secondly, how to measure the return on the investment of that assignment. If you're spending several $100,000 a year, what is the return on that investment? On the other hand, in Europe, one of the biggest challenging issues there is the pension portability challenge. Each country in Europe has its own pension program, and often those programs are not portable from one country to another, so that makes for a great barrier to mobility. We asked our members last year what they anticipated this year with respect to the traditional long-term assignments. This would be assignments of 2 or 3 years in duration. In Asia, as you can see, 71% of our members said that they saw it significantly increasing or somewhat increasing. Important and used frequently. And here are some stats with respect to whether those apply to new hires or current employees only. In this region, in this region, 44% would cover both new hires and current employees. We also talked to our members about the issue of localization. If I can briefly define that, that would be after a period of time when an expatriate is on a assignment and is getting allowances based on their host country, at what point do they become localized to the current economy with respect to the pay scale, housing, and so on and so forth? It's a trend that we're seeing, and more companies are looking to how they're going to localize those assignees, particularly after a length of time, for example, after 3 years or so. We wanted to find out what was the longest time that someone would have an assignee on an expatriate package. So we asked this question, the longest time that the expatriate retains benefits while on assignment, and you can see there's even a few companies that will keep an expat on an assignment for 15 years or more, which is quite a long time to maintain that package of benefits. War for talent is an issue that I talked about earlier when I mentioned it was high numbers. When we always talk about the war for talent, we're always quick to say that the war is over because talent has already won. And indeed, talent will always win, and it's always necessary. But it's a critical area that drives global mobility, and we think will drive it even more in the future will be the war for talent. It's estimated, McKinsey estimated that in China there are 75,000 openings for which there are about 5,000 qualified people. So you can see there's a huge talent shortage throughout parts of Asia. So it makes it important for HR professionals to constantly do global benchmarking, to find out what's happening from company to company, to look at your attrition and retention numbers, because indeed job hopping is going to increase as the war for talent increases. Poaching will be more prevalent than it's ever been before. And in some countries, of course, where you're merely, your recruiting strategy is to steal from others, you keep buying up the pay scale and find that people will job hop for minimal amounts of money because they know they can always get another job. In China, a recent trip, I discovered that some companies have adopted a shadow workforce strategy, which would be to have 2 people in place for every job, knowing that one of those people is going to leave, and you wanted to have somebody there to do the job while you're recruiting a shadow workforce.